What's good, y'all? It's your boy Jeameave.
And your boy Mac.
Back in ViewsFromTheHeart, and today we got a 2012 Jaguar XF Portfolio Edition. Now, for those of you who may not know, a Portfolio is actually a trim level designed by Jaguar for a more luxury-oriented customer in mind. It offers more luxury leather options, wood grain, and brushed aluminum trims. And you guys can see this bad boy right here behind us. It's actually spec'd pretty well. It has some leather interior color that I've never really seen before, but that doesn't mean it's a negative, because different is always pretty good most of the time.
Facts.
So this is pushing a 5-liter V8 with 385 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. So it is actually a little peppy. It is a naturally aspirated engines, but you know, that's all fun, and it's where-wheel drive. So with that said, this is actually supposed to compete with
Mercedes, BMW 5 Series, E-Class, Infiniti, G37, and Acura RL.
M37 actually.
My fault.
but with that said, you know, we go ahead as usual. We'll take this little trip and see what's popping on the inside.
Let's see what this kitty got going on purring. Two same G's, different whip. Let's go take this bad boy for a spin. Let's see what this Jaguar got going on purring.
That was definitely not a well, you already know, different day, different whip. What's cracking on here in the old James Bond mobile?
You already feeling, brother. I love. As soon as I get in, bro, it's that luxury feeling out. The Chrysler was missing.
Sorry, we just had someone there.
Anywho,
no.
But nah, honestly, like I said, bro, this is what I look for when you talk about luxury class. Let alone, it's a
Before we even go any further, let's keep in mind, brand new, this is supposed to compete with the BMW 5 Series,
E-Class,
Mercedes E-Class, Acura RL, Infiniti M37. As far as I'm aware, all of those options are well within the same range of the Chrysler 300 in the $50,000 to $60,000 range. So with that said, although this does not have 470 horsepower,
yeah, it's 380.
I'd rather have 385 horsepower with this interior right here, ladies and gentlemen, with this interior and this interior quality, as opposed to just under 100 horsepower more and an extremely basic, almost embarrassing type interior. And that was in the old Pastomobile in our most previous video.
Oh God.
But I mean, this interior is, honestly, it kind of blew my mind.
Nah.
This is the first Jaguar I've ever been in, that I've ever even sat in. And keep in mind, people, this is actually Jaguar's lowest vehicle at the time, back in 2012. This was supposed to be Jaguar's volume selling vehicle. So there was no vehicle that was lower than this in their range of advertising. So for this to be their lowest vehicle, yes, it's not cheap, but it is cheaper than other comparable vehicles that would exude luxury in this nature. I mean, come on. They got the AC. Look at this Inspector Gadget button right here.
I just want y'all to peep this. You know how y'all have the pull out, bruh? It's as simple as. I mean, we'll go more, but you feel me? I'm kind of tall, but
personally,
it's all one button accessible stuff. One button is supposed to open. One button is supposed to open. It's simple. It's classy. It's clean. It's simple. I wish we could start the car already, because I want y'all to see the Inspector Gadget type shit that we got going on here.
This is the only negative I can say about this car right here is this. I don't like this at all.
That is so
Give me something organic, something that I can feel, touch, and block into place. This knob, nah, I'm not feeling this at all. You do too much. It's too much.
Too much for what? This is so sexy. But even when you look, okay, you know, I'm gonna wait till you start the car, because I want them to see what I'm talking about.
No, they're definitely gonna see it. Watch. I just don't like it. It's cumbersome to actually use. It's actually honestly kind of confusing. When I parked this car here, I tried to switch it over into park. It wasn't budging. You have to hold basically the emergency or the park button right under it, and then hold it. Then it'll put itself in the park. I don't really understand what's going on there, but I mean, if that happened to me, that can happen to anyone else. But that's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes when I see car makers do something, I feel like they do things just to be different. And I feel like this is one of those options where they do things just to be different. There's nothing wrong with giving me, like let's say on a Mercedes S-Class, where the gearing is on the steering wheel, a steering wheel stock. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. there's nothing wrong with doing that. Instead, they try to be different, make it more svelte. Like, I appreciate the engineering and ingenuity behind it, but in actual practice, it's just, it doesn't feel good to me. It's not something that I would like to use on a daily basis, and that's something you clearly have to touch every time, unless you just like going in your car and not going anywhere. This is something you have to touch and use all the time, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't like it, plain point period. I really don't.
Well, shit on my parade then. Well, I felt that kind of clean, but hey.
We'll see, because when you put it in conceptualization and thinking about it, clean. In practice, it's not really user friendly. It's kind of cumbersome, and that's my issue with it.
I can agree on that then. That's understandable.
Idea is nice. Implementation, not so much so far. And I don't know. It's for the more absent-minded people. It's something that is of note. People that are kind of neglectful or just kind of indifferent or just absent-minded, like I said, might be a little. You have to do a kind of a decent amount just to put it back in the park, instead of, you know. It doesn't give you a good reassurance. You have to really look at it, see that it's in park, things like that. I'm not a fan of that. But I mean, that's really, other than the fact that, as you guys can see, this is actually our first vehicle I think we've done.
Has no damn panoramic.
Within, as of recently, that does not have. It does have a sunroof, but it does not have a panoramic sunroof.
Which is honestly quite shocking, I thought.
But it does have a beige Alcantara headliner. Like, this is actually really nice. This beige type. You guys, this interior is honestly on the next level. This interior really exudes what it's supposed to be called, and it is actually called a luxury class sedan. And I can see that.
Yeah, I can too.
There is everything you touch in here, even the infotainment system right down here. The buttons are actually rubberized, so to the touch, it feels really clean. I have absolutely no issue with it.
No, I'm saying wait till y'all see how the AC works. But do y'all see how the vents though? For the AC, there's no, you know, that kind of bulky look like goddamn gel cell.
It's automatic, and you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you so choose to.
See the automatic.
They will see it. They will see it. I already took a shot of that.
Excuse me. Forgot you.
But you know, like I said, in terms of the driving dynamics, we'll show you that shortly. But otherwise, this interior, I would give it a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. And that's just basing it on other things that I know of that are out there that are of higher class than this. But really, the only things that are of higher class are your top of the line $120,000+ vehicles, and this to me is as close as you're gonna get for a brand new price range of around $60,000, and I think that is incredibly amazing. You'd be hard pressed to find many vehicles that offers this. I mean, this leather. Finally, a car again that gives me all leather. People, they understood my prayers. All leather, and it has a tan stripe. It's tan with a black stripe on it. I've personally never seen that before. I have seen tan leather, but that black stripe just sets off something, a little nice touch to it. And it's double stitched leather on the dashboard. The stitching, the cross stitching, matches the color of the leather of the seats. That attention to detail is something that American cars need to keep up on, because I don't know, that Chrysler 300, and as far as I'm aware, that's supposed to be in competition with this in terms of at least of its price range.
What?
In this, according to Dodge, Chrysler. According to Chrysler, might as well be a Dodge product because there's no luxury in that whip. But you know, I think we covered everything we need to in this vehicle. We got the Inspector Gadget, James Bond gadgetry over here. It does have a nice English respect to it. I see the attention to detail. Everything is nice, soft touch. There's really no plastic to speak of. Anything that you would think would be plastics that I can feel has a rubberized texture to it. So it adds to its longevity, feels nice, good to touch, and it's just a testament to the quality of it. But with that said, we're gonna start this bad boy up and see what it's all about. See, that's another thing I don't like too. You have to hold it down for it to start instead of just pushing it like with just about every other push to start car. You actually have to hold it down. But
if you're getting chased by somebody,
but
raps.
5 liter naturally aspirated 385 horsepower V8. Okay.
You hear that, Kurt? You hear that?
There's not much you can argue or think make wrong about that. Honestly, this vehicle is in and of itself, so far, pretty fantastic. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, you know me. To be honest, we always talk about my height. Not always, but I'm a tall guy. I need my room.
Are you now?
He's not even gonna get him.
How's the headroom and legroom feeling over there?
To be honest,
my fault.
it's moderate. It's moderate. It's not too not too spacious, but I got enough room. I really feel bad for the people in back. If you're sitting behind a tall guy, do not sit behind me. I'm gonna need my leg room. This is only halfway.
Yeah, and once you're all the way back, there's like no space back there for him, for anyone of reasonable comfort anyway. But with that said, you know, I think we covered everything we need to with this portion of the segment, and let's go ahead and see what it's like driving it.
And it's I mean, okay, my fault. I was telling Jay this in at the end of our last conversation about a video. If you hear me slip up and say nigga, I'm honestly trying to stop. I'm trying to replace it with something else. I know. Yeah.
Well, he's working on it. I've got it under control. But like I said,
snitch. But
like I said, we're gonna go ahead and take this bad boy for a little spin. Let's get it. What's it like driving a 2012 Jaguar XF Portfolio Edition?
Very smooth for the most part.
The steering though, really light, really light. But yeah, that you can't be mad at this engine. You can't. You just can you be mad? Can you be mad? Just had to do that for you for the one time.
Did y'all hear that purr? Yeah. That growl from this? You just gonna litter, lady? Man, that's how you feel?
What are you doing, nigga?
We do. We do YouTube.
Yeah, no.
No, we ain't gonna snitch. Get on our books. Oh, Lord.
But, nah. Driving it for a little bit, driving around for a little bit, driving to the location you guys just saw us at, and driving it now back. It's very smooth. It's actually kind of surprising. It's very smooth. Farthest.
My fault. I didn't even interrupt.
You interrupted again. That's very unfortunate. But you know, like I said, we keep all the way funky. This is real life. We're in Watts. We're in Inglewood. Like, we don't say we're out. We are literally here.
Man, we're on Imperial Highway.
Imperial Highway in Hoover.
Hoover, bro. That's about as hood as gonna get on Watts.
Is there more hood than that?
Well, you gotta go over to the love. I just want y'all. You guys, I'm not even gonna stress. I'm not even gonna say anymore.
See, in the SRT 300. See, even though it does have that nice little growl to it, I don't know if that completely makes up the interior. This has that growl, has enough punch, and honestly, it feels just as fast as the SRT8.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but it really does honestly feel as fast as that to me.
No. And
don't get me wrong, it's probably faster when you have to higher speeds, but in terms of what you need around town, and for around the same price, brand new, and guys, this is cheaper. This is cheaper than SRT8 right now. Right now, this is going for about just under $17,000.
Yeah, car looks.
In general too. Yeah. I think this one, it's hard to find a spec like this. Like I said, this is a portfolio, so whoever was the previous owner had to go through a specialized program in order. They spec this car out to their needs, their wants. That's what portfolio is all about in terms of Jaguar. This is their taste. And mind you, this is not for everyone. You can't fault them for that. Honestly, it's a really nice, classy look. And so far, you know, after about 6, almost 7 years, the leather has held up very well. The leather's held up very well.
It looks brand new.
In the interior, has really kept up very well. All the soft touch materials, everything like that. Like I did say, it does have a rubberized texture on top of it. There's no scratches, scathes. It doesn't look like it was neglected at all. This is a really clean individual model, and there's many things that I can appreciate about this vehicle. There's the interior, the automation of it. It really gives you a James Bond type feel to it.
Does.
I mean, I've never seen a car where the air vents are electronically controlled. Now, mind you, I am more of the opinion that more automation means more things that can possibly be broken.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is this person doing?
Now y'all can see it.
Yeah,
now so y'all don't think we just out here wilding like, oh yeah.
This person was clearly in the right lane, thinking about to make a right. Then he just smooth rode into my lane. Like, what are you doing? Let's see. Man,
so we can't make this up.
But you know, like I said, the steering wheel is personally a little bit too light. The steering wheel feels nice double stitch leather wrapped. It feels nice, but the steering feedback is pretty vague. But although this does have a 5-liter V8, this is not built with a performance oriented in mind. I believe the Jaguar XF-R, or the supercharged model, is the one that obviously is built for more performance. So I'm actually intrigued to see how the handling would be in that. This one, like I said, it is a portfolio designated trim level. This was built with a more luxurious customer in mind, and that person who purchased the vehicle spec'd it out themselves. And as aforementioned,
what mode do you have it in right now?
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. I have it in track mode or sport mode. It makes the throttle very touchy. Like I could put 1% of foot power on this acceleration pedal and the car just goes. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. Me
neither, because on me, I've got a heavy foot.
It's very touchy. Yeah. But like I said, this is a natural aspirated engine, so you know, once you do that or do happen to do that, it's very easy to modulate the throttle. But if this was a turbo car and it gives you that sort of response and feedback immediately, or a supercharged car, you might have some issues. If it had a smaller turbo and the turbo split up really fast, you might probably run into some issues with some very unexpected torque-like levels coming at you brute force, because literally this is a naturally aspirated engine, and I'm surprised that the response is so fast. Usually when it comes to naturally aspirated engines, the power is more higher in the power band. But if I'm touching the acceleration pedal, and we're at, you know, less than 1,000 RPM, and it's doing that, it's fun, but it's not an everyday thing. It's really not, unless it's possibly one to get used to it, but it's not an everyday type drive that you want to be in. Like in my car, my personal vehicle, I put it in sport mode 100% of the time. And it could just be because I'm used to how it drives, but this literally, as soon as you put your foot on the, you can just think about putting your foot on the pedal, it goes. And that's what I was kind of struggling with on the way over, because I was still driving in track mode or sport mode then, and in doing so, I'm taking off in Tony's and see like this.
I didn't want to bring it up, but there was I'm like this, yo, oof.
Sorry, it's not distracted. But you know, with that said, the steering, as aforementioned, that number reading the skin, it is extremely light. But all the other dynamics of the car, this car does weigh about what? Just under 4,100 pounds.
I think about 1,067.
Basically, the SRT, it also weighs about 300 pounds more than this. Now, this doesn't feel like a big car to me. The SRT Chrysler 300 didn't feel like a big car to me, but I do feel a weight difference. It just does feel like a more nimble car. This feels more planted, more. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. This overall just is a way better built car. There's no ifs, ands, or buts or ways around that. This is a better built car. This feels like a better car, and this is a vehicle that I think would be worth more of your money. If you're looking for a V8 with enough horsepower and the interior to match it up.
And don't get me wrong,
the SRT 300 was not a bad car.
No, it wasn't. And also, the SRT Chrysler 300 is a passenger. It is, don't get me wrong. This is also an Oldsmobile. You don't really catch a lot of young cats with Jaguars nowadays.
but honestly, if I were in the market for a vehicle right now, I think I would consider it, especially for this price.
Yes, hell yes.
I don't.
Hell yes.
$16,000, $16,500.
I think
Can you beat that?
I think I actually mentioned to you before, Jaguar is probably one of my favorite vehicles. So I'm actually.
Jaguars are good cars, but you guys have to keep in mind the history of Jaguar has been plagued with a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguar formerly was known as a very problematic car. It went through a lot of trial and error, but I think after rebranding themselves and bringing out newer, more contemporary models, they're definitely an up and coming, and I can see that. Like I said, for this price, there's not many.
It's mind-boggling.
There's not many things you can really complain about this car. It's only 6 years old. There's not too much. It's, you know, just under just under 72,100 miles. That's not a lot of mileage
For a 6-year-old car.
That's really 6 going to 7-year car. That's barely 11,000 miles per year. A little bit over that, obviously, but there's a lot to like about this car, and there's little to really complain about. And honestly, I'm kind of scratching my head as to what. There are certain little instances that are quirks that are more unique, or things about this car that I could say is kind of just like the gear shift, the gear changer, unnecessary in my opinion. Just give me something simple that works. Not something that I have to think about just to do a simple gear change. Not saying that it requires brain power or anything like that, but it's just, it needs to be easier for everyone.
Yeah.
And I feel it doesn't really reach that with this. But you know, can you think of anything else with this?
You talking about like just pros, cons, or just all in all?
In general.
Nah, because like I said, to be honest,
380 horsepower, 5-liter V8. Sounds amazing.
This when Chrysler.
When you guys make things, look at things like this.
Look at this. It's
and
simple,
this is
but yet amazing.
And this competes with, again, Mercedes E-Class, BMW 5 Series, Acura RL, Infiniti M37. Even for me, I prefer straight 6 engines, and yes, the BMW 5 Series equivalent will be more expensive than this. There are some benefits to that, but naturally aspirated versus turbo car, I'm gonna put my bet on this being a more reliable vehicle than the equivalent 535 out. There's less parts to go wrong, so logically that's just how it is. And I can't fault someone for, now I can see why. Now, like I said, this is my first Jaguar. I can see why, and this is why I appreciate being able to do this and look at competition and see why something might be better, why the competition is the way it is, and things like this push brands that I'm more familiar with to be better. And that's the great thing about competition. Period.
Okay.
People think that they have things in the bag, they become complacent, things like that. There's always someone looking at your place, looking at your spot, so you always got to be on your P's and Q's and always keep on coming with heat. Because if you're not coming with heat, then what are you really doing? Instead of, don't rest on your laurels, people. Always keep on pushing, always keep grinding, always keep on doing you. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and your life is what you make out of it. And if you're not putting in the work, and you're not putting what you need to get to where you want to, the only one you have to blame to not be where you want to be is honestly yourself.
If you're waiting on somebody to come do it for you, hey, you're gonna be waiting for a long time. Guarantee it.
See us? We're out here. We're doing this.
Not bragging either.
We're trying to do it. There's nothing we can even really brag about other than the fact that we're out here grinding every day, doing what we want to do to get to where we want to in life.
Like my man said, like my man Nip said, bro, hustle and motivate. That's it.
Nip, I met you at Best Buy. If for some unknown godly reason you ever come across this video, just remember me when you came out of Best Buy in West LA on Pico, and I said, what up? Dapped each other up and kept it pushing. You're a real G. But with that said, I think we covered everything we need to, but it's beautiful. It is smooth. It has enough power to me, and I'm always a person that says I can use more power. Could I use more power on this? Yes.
You got more power. You look sexy doing it too. That's the thing.
But this has enough.
No.
This has more than enough. And especially when it's in track mode, it really does feel like it's almost more than enough in some instances.
Well, people, I'm not gonna say fail to realize, but also we gotta reiterate. This is a luxury sedan. Luxury, you know, there's certain types: luxury, sports, you know, family.
Yeah, you have your types that are said to be luxury and include nice horsepower, and then skip out on the luxury. This includes a nice horsepower, but doesn't skip out on the luxury.
Facts.
It really does.
It's really appreciated too. Really appreciated.
This is a nice, classy car that no one, I think, could reasonably sit here and say that they would be embarrassed to be in. Look, 12 right there. 12. But this vehicle gives a good old 2 thumbs up for myself. I think we covered everything we need to about this vehicle.
It is for purchase at Carlux.
Shout out to Carlux, my guy Robert in the back. You know, he's always ducked off.
He's always gonna be with us, bro. If y'all ever notice him, like,
he ain't here in the back here.
Who is this cat in the back with them? It's our boy Robert. He works at Carlux. Again, if y'all want this car to purchase, or really any car in that lot to purchase, you guys, you know, go through my man Robert, go through Eric, Mario, yeah, the whole family, the whole Carlux family will show you guys love. And again, we can't, you know, say enough how much we appreciate you guys, honestly,
from the bottom of our hearts. So with that said, thank you guys as always so much for watching and coming along with us for our little trips. We hope you enjoy what you see and find us to be somewhat informative and as well as somewhat funny. I would like to think we are, which is why I would hope you guys will keep on enjoying what we do, watching us and supporting us. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys already know what we're about. Help support us on our journey, because I guarantee you, when we get there, we're gonna bring anyone that helped us, everyone that helped us, to the top with us.
Shout out to my baby brothers too, and my baby sister for always showing love, and your friends, Fro. Much love to y'all. Keep following. Also, Mackenzie and Lawan, I don't know if you guys saw us, but we definitely saw you at the corner of my eye when you walking down Imperial. I didn't realize it was you until we were past, but I'm pretty sure Mackenzie recognized me. We both looked at each other like this. Where were y'all going? Y'all asked me to be home. That was nowhere near home. I told you, we on your asses. Not playing. But anyway, much love, bless. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and this video is not over. Bang, bow. Button, go. You already know what it is. Your boy Mac. Like I said, I fucked up. Customer in my